Back inside Siegel Center, Scott Jackson and Nixon getting you ready for Radford and VCU. Radford in the road reds on red, white stripes. VCU will be in the home whites tonight, and the black numbers and the gold trim as well. As we get a look at these starting lineups, the visitors first from Radford, 6-4 in the season. Justin Archer, DeQuan Smith, Josiah Jeffers, Brian Antoine, the transfer from Villanova, first ever McDonald's All-American to play at Radford, and Majel Niang, the starters for Radford. Looking at the VCU starting five, Ace Baldwin's back, also Jameer Watkins, Jalen DeLoach, Jaden Nunn, and Brandon Johns Jr., who we featured in the ones to watch just a few moments ago, Ed. And I'm sure VCU and Mike Rhodes, I know he was pretty excited today to know that Ace Baldwin was back today.
Absolutely. We know that Ace is the head of the snake for this VCU team. He leads them offensively and leads them defensively. It's going to feel really good to have him back in the lineup.
VCU going right to left as we are underway here at Siegel Center. VCU coming off a win over Howard on Sunday. Meanwhile, Radford lost on the road to VMI. And we got an early whistle. That's going to be a foul on VCU. Right away, they get Jalen DeLoach.
I always wonder how coaches feel about the first play being a turnover.
Not too good. I mean, when I asked Mike Rhodes earlier, I go, what keeps you up at night, Coach? He said turnovers, and boom, right on the first play. The first possession, I should say. Darren Nichols in his second season, the head coach at Radford. A Radford, Virginia native coaching at Radford. Really cool story. We'll talk more about that throughout the broadcast. There's a corner three, and that's going to be a little short from Jeffers. Rebounded by Watkins.
And VCU,
Nunn trying to feed the post.
VCU has to be careful. They gave up a wide-open three in the corner for gambling and getting themselves out of position.
DeLoach with the fadeaway makes up for the early foul. Gets VCU on the early two-point lead. Of course, here comes the pressure from VCU. Rams currently 52nd nationally in defensive efficiency. Also 12th in defensive turnover percentage and 16th in steal percentage. But Radford, tough team to turn over. Looking at their numbers, Ed, they have not been giving the ball away, just 11 a game.
Absolutely, and they're doing a great job of taking care of the ball. I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle VCU's pressure. I'm not sure they played a team quite like VCU this year.
Jeffers getting stripped on the way up by Ace Baldwin. There we go.
And right on cue.
Right on cue, their first turnover, the old broadcaster jinx. Johns in the post. Shaking off a little bit of little contact here. Refs letting the play. We've got an A-10 crew in here tonight. Johns gets fouled as he turns into Archer. And so that'll go on Archer. Our crew tonight, Clarence Armstrong, Earl Walton, and Vladimir Voyard-Tadal. Again, Atlantic 10 crew here this evening. VCU ball under their own basket with 20 on the shot clock.
And I like that VCU is trying to get Brandon Johns involved early offensively. I know I said this before, but I think he will really simplify things on the offensive end and make it easier for some of the role players.
Ace Baldwin attacking, trying to dish it off, but turns it over instead. Brian Antoine pushing it ahead for the Highlanders. Sal Caresi just checked in for Archer during that after that foul. We get an offensive foul on Radford. They're going to get Antoine.
Yeah, he tried to do a handoff, but he stuck his butt out a little bit, and that's not allowed.
There's Mike Rhodes' sixth season, 108 wins in his time here at VCU. And now we're going to see Antoine sit down. Is it more subs coming in here in the early going? I don't know if this was with a plan. Certainly present not the plan for Coach Nichols coming in tonight. They have to go to the bench this early. Almost turned over. Nunn keeps it alive. DeLoach hands it off to Ace Baldwin, who has it taken away. Ball on the floor, and I think they're going to loose ball foul. I think that's going to go against Radford's Josiah Jeffers, number 2.
And Radford is doing a really good job of playing physical defense. And they are up in VCU's face, making it very uncomfortable to run their offense, to getting tips and deflections on passes. VCU has to be careful there.
Kenyon Giles checks in. Freshman of the week in the Big South. Chesapeake, Virginia native, played high school basketball at Silverado High School in Las Vegas after playing at Oscar Smith for a couple years. He's their leading scorer and is coming off the bench tonight. Ace Baldwin almost turns it over, does turn it over, as it's Sal Caresi, the former Richmond Spiner, who came away with it. Juan Smith getting it over to Caresse. Over on the wing.
One thing I know is about Radford's defense, watching film and just trying to get a better feel for them, you are not going to be able to pass over them. You're going to have to step around and do a bounce pass or pass on the side of them. But passing over is going to lead to turnovers.
Izukudu feeds it into Caresse, who's attacking on Johns. Can't get it off, airballs it, and handled by Jameer Watkins for VCU. So Radford scoreless as we're hitting 3 minutes into this game here tonight at Siegel Center. DeLoach in the post, gets it poked away. As Kudu kicks it back out to Smith. Hands it off for an easy two from Niang, who just checked in on the scoreboard.
And DeLoach can score. He has the ability to score on the post, but I would like to see him get into his post move a little bit faster. 3 dribbles is a little bit too much. 1 dribble, go into your move.
John's in the post now with Caresse on a nice move with his left hand. Can't finish, though. Rebounded by Niang. Dribble handoff gone wrong there for the Highlanders. Ace Baldwin now pushing ahead for VCU.
And this is a sloppy start for both teams.
No doubt. Jaden Nunn with the 2. It's going to be off. And the rebound handled by Izukudu. Izukudu now running the point. Over to Caresse. Niang now with the touch. Izukudu now attacking. Goes between the legs, step back long 2, and he's going to be off the back iron as DeLoach handles it. John's now attacking after the pump fake and gets it tipped away, and that's going to get us to our first timeout. A cold start for both teams' offenses here in the early going from Siegel Center. Limited. Back inside Siegel Center, Scott Jackson and Nixon with you, and a slow start offensively for both of these teams, but Radford has come out here and, not as known as much as VCU is for defense, but Radford showing off some defense here in the early going, Ed.
Absolutely. The one thing that sticks out to me is their aggression. They're not letting VCU do anything easily. That means dribble the ball up the court. That means make passes. That means make cuts. They're doing a really good job of being physical and aggressive.
Yeah, no doubt. 3 turnovers for both teams, and again, both teams just 1 for 4 from the floor. Toby Lawal is checked in. Ace Baldwin thought about the 3. Instead, he's going to get the blow-by off the window for 2 from Ace. So Baldwin on the board. David Schreiber also checking in for VCU as Jalen DeLoach and Jameer Watkins sit down. Make that John sits down. Excuse me, Watkins still in the game. Giles with the runner, and that's going to go. Well, members bounce.
He really got off the floor there, didn't he?
He did, no doubt. I mean, again, he's their leading scorer, but comes off the bench. Kenyon Giles, freshman. He's the freshman of the week in the Big South, averaging over 12 points a game. A good outside shooter as well, 44% beyond 3. There's Ace Baldwin with a 3. That's going to be short. And the rebound handled by Jeffers. Jeffers pushing.
And I know that Ace is capable of hitting that shot. However, you can get that shot later in the shot clock. I know Coach Rose would prefer they move the ball around a little bit more.
Yeah, he talks about wanting paint touches first. And then here's Giles stepping into a 3, in and out. Rebound, though, controlled by actually 2 players. Caresse put it back up. He and Jules were fighting for it. It was like a same team situation. I don't think they realized it. But Caresse, the former Richmond Spider, got the board and was unable to get the putback, however.
And give credit to Radford. They are attacking the glass with aggression. Having 2 guys. How do they get an open 3 and 2 of their guys to get the offensive rebound?
Yeah, I think Mike Rhodes probably talking about that right now to himself. So Radford at 6-3 on the boards right now, but obviously the scoreboard just 4 all here in the early going. Schreiber stepping into a 3, and that's going to be long. Speaking of crashing the boards, VCU does, but they can't secure it. Here comes Jeffers for the Highlanders. Pulls up for the 3, and that's going to be off the side iron. But again, run down by Radford with another chance.
And Radford has to be careful not to get lulled into taking those type of shots when VCU applies pressure to them.
Yeah, 37% three-point shooting team, but not sure those are the best ones. Jameer Watkins attacks, cannot finish, but he'll go to the line for 2.
And VCU's doing a good job of getting in the passing lane as well. I believe that's the 4th or 5th turnover on Radford.
Yeah, Radford now has turned it over 4 times. They've also, you got to look at the foul situation. Of course, that's a shooting foul, but there's 14 fouls already on the Highlanders here in the early part of this first half. So VCU's been getting to the line a lot this year. 6 nationally in free throw attempts per game at 27. That's where they're making a lot of hay.
Yes, they lead the A-10 in free throw attempts. However, they struggle with making free throws as well. They're only shooting around 67% from the free throw line.
Yeah, and they're, again, 6th in attempts, but you're right. I mean, the percentage, Mike Rhodes wants to do that in the 70s. Right now, they're hovering around 69. So Watkins, though, able to convert the first, and second one goes in and out. Watkins, a 59% free throw shooter on the season. Get a lot of opportunities, though, in the early part of this year. Ace Baldwin all over Jeffers, and there's a foul behind the play. If they're going to get Lawal, and they do.
And this is also, Radford has to be careful. Ace Baldwin is applying a lot of pressure, making them work. You won't see the evidence of this until the second half when those legs get tired. Radford is a very conditioned team. However, running up and down is not necessarily their style of play.
Josiah Jeffers knocks down the first. Jeffers averaging double digits a game at 10 points and a 67% free throw shooter. Daquan Smith is checked back in as Kenyon Giles sits down for Radford. And Jeffers misses the second. So this game continues to be tight. 5-all. Early going, neither team finding much of a rhythm offensively, but again, credit the defense too. Nick Kern, speaking of defense, in for VCU now. Also in Zeb Jackson. Turnover by Jackson. The Michigan transfer. We're seeing Johns. Smith for 3, and that's going to be off. Rebound fought for. Looks like his last touch by Nick Kern. He'll stay with Radford with 20 seconds now on the clock.
And those are the type of turnovers that Mike Rhodes pulls his hair out about. Unforced, easy look, just took his eyes off the ball for a second, leading to the turnover.
Off the inbounds. Sees Yakuta over to Archer. Smith with Jackson on him, feeds the post, tipped away, but Archer controls it now, trying to go after Shriver, but turns it over as DeLoach picks it up. Gets it over to Ace Baldwin. Shriver with the fake, and then with the drive getting into DeLoach now in the post. Little baby hook's going to be long. DeLoach gets his own miss and puts it back for 2. Good work on the boards from Jalen DeLoach.
And I like Shriver not settling for the 3, putting the ball on the ground, finding the open man, and letting the offense come to him.
Jalen DeLoach had 11 last time out in the win over Howard. Here comes Smith with the runner, and that's going to be short. Ball ping-ponged around, somehow back to Radford, and Archer, who puts it off the window for 2. Radford really getting on the boards here. Out-rebounded VCU 10-6. Zeb Jackson, the lefty, going to his left, dumps it into DeLoach for an easy 2 off the window.
Great attack by Zeb Jackson, but even greater look. DeLoach is doing a really good job of being ready for these passes and catching them, even though they're making passes inside the paint.
Smith with 2 players on it, gets it over to Jules. Easy Akuda gets fouled from behind. That's going to go on Ace Baldwin. That'll be Ace's first. And we're going to get to a timeout on the floor. 11:41 to go in this first half. VCU leads Radford 9-7. This is VCU basketball on Rams Unlimited. Well, this game so far has been interesting, and neither team has been able to get much of a offensive rhythm here. VCU has held the lead the longest. We've had, obviously, a couple ties as well, 4 of them to be exact. And even though Radford is doing a great job on the boards, 4 offensive boards, they've only had 2 second chance points out of those 4 offensive boards.
And if you're going to get out-rebounded, you prefer to not allow the opposing team to get second chance points. But you're also playing with fire.
Yeah, no doubt. And as we come out of the timeout, Radford possession. Almost a turnover there. Wow, somehow Smith's able to keep it alive. And Caresi travels. Excuse me, Niang travels. Actually, if he didn't travel, I think he'd had an offensive foul because he kind of extended that hand. But a turnover out of a timeout, that'll drive a coach crazy. Darren Nichols up, not exactly pleased about that. Coach Nichols' his brother Shane also on the staff, both again Radford, Virginia natives. Zeb Jackson, the little bounce pass to DeLoach for a slam. Jalen DeLoach.
Another great look by Zeb Jackson, and that's where he really thrives, creating for others.
Did a nice job here tonight off the bench with 2 assists, both to DeLoach. Niang off the window, back at DeLoach. Cutting the deficit to 2.
Great job by Radford being patient and passing out of that press.
Jaden Nunn running the point right now with Ace Baldwin getting to breathe on the bench. Nick Kern's out there. Johns as well with DeLoach. Jackson, as you mentioned, Nunn. And there's Kern with 3. That's an air ball, but rebounded by DeLoach. It must have hit something because I don't think it was supposed to. They reset the shot clock. I said that was an air ball. And the referee now going to have to go over here and check and see what the time should be because they went to a new 20 or reset to 20. Pretty sure that went directly into DeLoach's hands. Let's get another look at it.
Let's see.
After Kern missed. It might have skimmed the rim. I think it did skim the rim. Yeah, no, it did skim the rim. Otherwise, it would have been about 9 on the clock. No, he did skim the rim. Let's just put it this way. It would have been a real bad miss had it been a complete air ball to think about it. Now, if catching it as far off the area it did. But that's on our side, so we kind of have a weird angle. We're kind of blocked by fans there. But, yeah, definitely skimmed the rim.
Absolutely. Good catch. Good catch.
That was a good catch by the shot clock. Folks, good job by the clock. Folks on the table there, the clock keepers. Are they clock keepers? I don't know. I don't know what they prefer. We'll find out later. All right, so it'll be VCU ball either way. Their possession now 18 on the clock. We got that all sorted out. Watkins trying to feed the post to DeLoach. DeLoach, little fade away, but that's going to be short. Rebounded by Smith. Smith's going to let it clear out as he brings it up.
And DeLoach is having a pretty good game to start out.
He's been active, leading scorer so far with 6. Little pocket pass to Niang. He's going to shoot it long. But another offensive board for the Highlanders, but they can't put it back. Johns secures it now. Watkins gets it. Pushing ahead, Jackson. Now he pulls it out. The 2-man game from the former Michigan players there. Johns in the post. Off the window and 1.
VCU's going to have to do a better job of gang rebounding with their guards as well. That last play, Brandon Johns was contesting the shot, and the opposing big came in, crashed with 2 guards on the backside who didn't touch anybody. And they're going to have to get better at that, or Radford's going to start succeeding and getting some more second chance points.
Brandon Johns to the line, averaging 12 points a game and 6 rebounds. 83% from the free throw line. He had 16 and 7 in the win over Howard on Sunday.
He's such a versatile big. I can't say it enough because he's
in and out.
Usually, you jinxed him.
I did. I did.
He's usually pretty good at the free throw line. He can step out and shoot the 3, but his footwork on the post is most impressive.
VCU 1 for 3 from the line tonight. Kind of a cold start there. We're highlighting how they've been doing better. And there's a good defensive play by DeLoach as he denies Jules. Quickly ahead, Jackson slips and now turns it over. Kind of slipped on his way up, it looked like. He's lost his footing and he couldn't get it off the window.
Absolutely. And I like the aggression in the attack. However, he did not have the numbers with him.
Jeffers with a blow by, up and under, no, can't finish, but Jules unable to secure the rebound as he was the first one there. Shaq Jules couldn't pull it down. So VCU will have the ball with a 4-point lead. 9:11 to go here in this first half. 40% now for the Rams on the floor, so they're finding a little bit of offensive rhythm as we're going on here in this game tonight. And again, Radford with the advantage on the boards, 14-10, but they're not taking advantage of the second chances. And Ace Baldwin back in the game and gets fouled immediately from Josiah Jeffers.
And Radford has to be careful. One more foul and VCU is going to be in the bonus.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier that Radford racked up some fouls, kind of did a good job getting away from it. over these last 4 minutes, but that foul there puts them one away from VCU shooting into the bonus the rest of this half. Into Ace, this time Izakuta covering him. Feed the post to DeLoach, who tries to throw it down, gets his shot blocked by Jules.
Great help side defense right there by Jules. Great way to fix it in transition by VCU.
Yeah, Antoine wanted to attack Jamir Watkins. Watkins did a good job staying in front of him. Giles with a tough fadeaway, and that's going to be no good. There's some VCU rebounders, 3 of them. And coming away with it is Watkins. Now with a nice dish to Johns for an easy 2.
And one thing I can say about VCU tonight, they are really doing a good job of penetrating and finding the open man.
So VCU, their largest lead is 6. Antoine kicks it out to Giles for 3, and that's going to be off the back iron, rebounded by Watkins again. Quickly ahead to Ace Baldwin. Baldwin probing. Thought about the 3, instead hands it back off to DeLoach. But quickly inside of that, diving on the floor. You got the Highlanders trying to get a timeout, and I think they did, or are they going to call a jump ball? It's going to be a jump ball as Izakuta was on the floor. Possession arrow is going to go to VCU. We'll take a timeout as well. This is VCU basketball on Rams Unlimited. Back here inside Siegel Center, VCU has opened up a 6-point lead, 15-9. Both teams got off the really cold starts offensively. Radford's cold start has continued over their last 6, 2 of their last 13, and haven't scored in 3 minutes and 13 seconds. But VCU now up to 41% from the floor. Ed, how have they got their offense going?
Well, VCU isn't settling on the offensive end. They're doing a great job of being patient, playing within the offense, getting penetration, getting 2 feet in the paint, and then from there, they're finding the wide open the player to make a shot, or it's a dish off or a layup. DeLoach has been the recipient of 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah, 14 paint points to 8 in favor of the Rams, and again, a good job by the Highlanders to get on the boards, but they just have not been able to take advantage of it despite a big discrepancy there in offensive rebounds. Those 5 offensive boards have only turned into 2 points. Giles penetrates, shot blocked by DeLoach. His big night continues on both ends of the floor as Watkins pushes it ahead. Ace Baldwin in attack mode, puts it up with a tough shot in the lane for 2.
And that was a beautiful, aggressive, tough shot by Ace Baldwin. A lot of contact there.
Ace has got 4 after missing the Howard game with that left wrist injury, different than the right wrist injury that had screws put in it. That wrist is doing well. The left wrist swolled up, but doing a lot better. There's a deep 3, and that's going to be good. Big time shot there from Izakuta.
And that's just how Radford would practice that. Driving past the white line. Good defense right there.
And almost a turnover from VCU to stay with the Rams with 20 on the clock. Izakuta is a 58% three-point shooter coming into the night. And he knocks down his first attempt tonight.
You don't want to leave him open.
No. And it's not that he's hit 3 of 6 or something like that. He's actually put up a pretty good amount of 3s this season after knocking that one down. I believe he is now 12 of 20 on the year.
Very selective about when he wants to take his shots.
The turnover there, Shriver and Lawal kind of got their messages crossed. Josh Banks in the game for VCU along with Shriver and Lawal. Jamir Watkins along with Ace Baldwin. Izakuta brings it up with Banks on him. Smith now getting doubled. Feeds the post, almost throws it away. Somehow they keep that alive. Giles now going to penetrate, and there's a pull-up 3 for Smith and knocks it down. Suddenly Radford's finding their rhythm. 2 straight 3s to cut it to 2.
And I do believe Radford is running good offense. However, VCU is starting to make mental mistakes and leave the shooters open.
These are the things Mike Rhodes has been kind of harping on with his team, too. But they got to get better at. Ace Baldwin gets a little space, and he misses everything, though, after the turnaround. Banks is now going to step into a 3, and he's got it! As Banks checks in and knocks down a big 3. Coming off 11 against Howard. Banks picking up where he left off.
And Banks is writing his basketball story in a remarkable way, showing complete toughness and buy-in to a program. Someone who was at the end of the bench at times now has been able to step in and make great of the minutes he's been getting.
Brian Antoine, the Villanova transfer, knocks down a three in the corner. That's 3 straight threes from Radford. We're talking about another scoring drought. Now they've gone 3 for 3, all 3-pointers. Lawal inside the paint, can't finish, tips it up again, his own tip up again, and he's got an and one opportunity here for Lawal. Wow, Toby Lawal persistent on the boards.
His second jump is as fast as anybody in college.
See it again. So it was 1 board here,
2,
tip 2,
3,
and the finish and the foul.
Actually, they called the foul before the bucket.
Okay, they did call the foul before the bucket. Too bad, because that would have been beautiful. So 2 shots for Lawal. And he misses the first. That was a good break for Radford that they didn't get the foul afterwards.
Lawal was padding his stats.
He was all after it. Lawal misses the first free throw. Of course, Lawal from London, England, the freshman. 6'8", 200 pounds, played at Lee Academy in Maine. He goes 1 of 2 from the line. So 21-18, VCU leading Radford now with the pressure. Jaden Nunn back in the game with Ace Baldwin in the backcourt.
And full court-wise, I think Radford's doing a really good job of handling VCU's pressure thus far.
They've done a really good job in that regard. You're right. They've not had any press kind of turnovers. Antoine with a pump fake, now attacking. Goes off the window, misses, but Archer's there for the board and a putback. No. Johns pulls it down for VCU and now pushing it ahead. The Baldwin on the wing. He's going to now feed Johns. Kicks it back out. Watkins. And he can't finish. Now here comes Radford.
And these refs are letting the guys play a little bit.
They are. There's no question about it. Archer in some traffic, they're going to call that, as he's fouled on the way up. So Justin Archer, the transfer from Florida Southwestern, will get to the line.
And both teams are actually playing the way they want. They're actually getting the shots they want, getting the looks they like. However, this is going to be a game of execution.
So Radford, despite just shooting 29% overall, just down by 3 as Archer goes to the line. A big part of that has been the 3-point shot. They're 38% from there. They've knocked 3 of them down. VCU's just knocked down 1.
The great equalizer.
No doubt.
What they call it.
Yeah, and you know, the folks that really put math into the sport will tell you take more of those and less of the others. Here comes Archer with his second offering. He's a 71% free throw shooter on the season, and it never fails. I didn't mean to do that, but it happened. Sorry to the Archer family. All right, 1 and 2 makes it a 2-point ball game. DeLoach, who's had a good first half, almost turns it over, does turn it over. Archer again, a little defense there, a little poke from behind, forces DeLoach to turn it over.
As a post, I would like for DeLoach to attack middle first instead of trying to spin. And if you are going to spin, make sure you post above the block so you have the room to do so.
Giles back to Easy Okuda. Giles, Easy Okuda, down to Antoine. Antoine pulls up for a tough 2 and knocks it down. Wow, Brian Antoine, Jr. from Trenton Falls, New Jersey, and again spent some time at Villanova. Was a Final Four participant last year. Played in their loss to Kansas. 19 minutes in that ball game. Of course, it ended up being Jay Wright's last game at Villanova. Jaden Nunn draws the contact and 1.
Great patience by Jaden Nunn. Good pace to the offense of VCU to run the offense and just let the offense develop. And that's what they struggled with early on this season. And as you see with Ace Baldwin back in the lineup, they're starting to get it together.
We'll take a timeout as well. This is VCU basketball on Rams Unlimited. Scott Jackson, Ed Nixon back inside Siegel Center. I want to thank Charlie's Cheesesteaks of West Broad Street for providing our TV crew with dinner tonight for our game. If you need fantastic sandwiches and chicken wings for your next event, check out charlies.com. I will test the chicken wings, Ed. Very good. But in a tie, I was proud of myself. Normally I would wear that. It was very careful. Did not get any wing sauce on here prior to us being on television tonight.
We all need to get the picnic blanket and tuck it in.
Picnic blanket, exactly. So Jaden Nunn trying to complete the three-point play. Get the bucket and knocks down the free throw as well. So Nunn on the board with 3, and the Rams lead is 3 as well, 24-21. As Radford got hot after between the last timeouts, hitting those 3 3-pointers. See if VCU makes some adjustments there.
And we talked off camera about how VCU can't allow Radford to step into 3-point shots. If they want to do some dribbling and pull up, you got to live with the result with that.
Tough shot from Giles, in and out. But the rebound, Archer. He has been killing it on the glass and one. Justin Archer, what a board.
And again, since the tip, they have been able to offensive rebound. However, now they're starting to get in that rhythm where they're actually converting to the second chance points.
He's got 5 and 5 on the night already. Archer on the season averages 6.5 and 4, so already ahead of his normal pace in terms of boards, and equaling it in points as he knocks it down with the left hand. Nick Kern's going to come into the game for VCU. He's going to replace Jalen DeLoach, who has 2 personal fouls. He and Lawal both with 2 fouls for VCU.
And as a rebounder, when you're playing a team that is aggressively attacking the offensive glass, sometimes you can't go after the rebound. You just have to make sure that your man does not get the rebound.
So VCU for Radford answered with their own 3-point play. Goes to Johns, but he can't finish. And again, Archer there with his 6th board of the night.
And that's 2 or 3 buckets by VCU that they missed point-blank range.
Yeah, they have missed some bunnies tonight, no question. Izakuta was tied up almost for a moment, but instead they get the foul on Watkins. Pretty good trap there until the foul.
It was a foul or a kickball?
I'm sorry, kickball. Excuse me, kickball. Correct, kickball. So 2:31 to go in this first half. We're even, 24 apiece. Radford come here tonight and put on a strong start here at Siegel Center against VCU. There's a runner that is not going to go from Yamukazi, but guess what? Another offensive board and putback is DeQuan Smith with the layup, and the first lead for Radford.
And I imagine at halftime, Coach Rose is going to make this a point of emphasis. We have to crash the glass as a game. Everybody, guards included.
So Radford with their first lead of the game, and now a foul. Yeah, Ibu Yamazaki, who just checked in with a miss, played high school basketball in Japan, same school that produced Rui Hachimura for the Washington Wizards, and of course from Gonzaga fame. So Jaden Nunn now to the line as VCU is in the bonus. And Nunn unable to knock it down.
And that type of play has plagued VCU throughout this season. Front end of 1-on-1s in close games, and it just deflates the building.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this building was jumping a couple timeouts ago, but now all of a sudden Radford answering the bell. You got to respect the way they have handled the atmosphere here tonight. Cross-court pass to Smith with Nunn on him. Only got 4 on the clock. He's going to have to make something happen. Tough 3, and that's blocked. Grabbed by Nick Kern. Ace Baldwin now. Over to Watkins, who's attacking. Watkins loses it. And turnover from the Rams.
Now, I need clarification. If they're not going to call a charge, wouldn't that be considered a block?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there should be something, right? There was definitely contact, although unless they were saying that he was losing the ball when he ran into the defender and the ball was already headed out of bounds, and they just kind of look at the contact as inadvertent. And from our angle, from behind, it looked like you can't see where the ball, he was already bobbling the basketball. So Radford a chance to add to their first lead of this game. Easy Okuda attacking up and under. Wow, what a bucket from Unabuchi Easy Okuda.
That wasn't any Spanish. That was English.
That was all English. The Pittsburgh transfer. And, you know, at Pitt, he was known as a defensive player, defensive stalwart, but tonight has been active offensively. He's got 5 here in this first half. They got Yamazaki for the foul. So now it is the double bonus. So Nick Kern will go to the line shooting 2 for the Rams. And Kern on the season has only been to the line 8 times. Knocks it down.
And Nick Kern is one of those guys for VCU that really can make an impact in the game without being in the box score.
Yeah, Mike Rhodes calls him kind of heart and soul kind of player, hustle player. He told me, you know, last year when he was a freshman, because this kid's going to be a fan favorite. He just, the way he plays and the style he plays, and that certainly played out to be true here for the sophomore.
And I can tell that Ace's pressure is starting to bother the guards of Radford. Almost got a push off right there.
Caressi attacking, and he's going to get a foul on Johns. So Sal Caressi. Caressi will go to the line where he'll try to get on the board tonight. He's scoreless. Former Richmond Spider, played 14 games last year. Was there 4 years overall at Richmond. So was at Radford as a graduate student. Caressi misses the first free throw.
And Caressi, I remember seeing him play him as a freshman, and I remember him having a lot of potential.
Misses both of them. And Caressi unable to get on the board. So VCU, if they want to, well, they have a little bit, 6-second differential between the shot and game clock here for half. Ace Baldwin. Attacking, tough shot from Ace, and that's not going to go. Rebounded by Caressi, but he can't corral it, and he's out of bounds. So the Rams will have the last word on this half if they want it, with 14.8 to go.
And a little bit of confusion on the VCU players' face as they thought that ball was still over the rim when Caressi grabbed it.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty close, where he could be in the end of a goaltend. So with the Johns now in the paint. With Caressi on him, loses it. Somehow Kern saves it. Jackson with a pump fake, now attacking, drops it off to Kern, who's in trouble. He kicks it out. Here's Watkins before the buzzer, and he can't get it to go in and out. Johns can't get the put back, and we're going to go to half with Radford on top of the Rams, 28-26. After a really slow start offensively, the Highlanders for the Big South Conference are going to lead at the break. We'll take a break as well. This is VCU basketball on Rams Unlimited. VCU will have the possession to start the second half. They'll be going left to right. Radford going right to left. Radford in the all red and the white trim tonight. The visitors led the final 2 minutes, 11 seconds of the first half, and that's where we stand right now, 28-26.
And whoever can come out and enforce their will, imply their will against the other team first, will have a high chance of winning this game.
Baldwin almost turns it over. Nunn's able to get it. Nunn is trying to feed the post. Takes the screen. Nunn attacking. Nunn off the window. Can't get it to go, but he'll go to the line for 2. So Jaden Nunn back to the free throw line for VCU, where he's 1 of 2 in the night.
And I touched on this earlier, but you're not going to be able to pass it over the top of Radford's defense. They do a really good job of having high hands and using their length, and they always seem to get a tip of the ball. That was close to a turnover by Ace Baldwin.
Nunn knocks it down. He's 69% from the line on the season. Yeah, Nunn did a good job of kind of correcting, as Mike Rhodes calls it, being the fixer on the play. And Nunn misses the second, but rebounded by Jameer Watkins, who's really done a good job on the glass tonight. I think he's got 7 boards now. But the turnover, here comes Antoine, circus shot. He's going to get fouled, hits the floor hard, but will go to the line for 2.
And that was good hand good hands by Giles to get his hand on that hand in there on the handoff. A lot of hands.
Just a lot of hands in that play. And Brian Antoine, the former Villanova Wildcat, goes down. We got the governor sitting to our right, by the way. Glenn Youngkin here in the house watching the game. He's a Rice University basketball player. And Antoine knocks in the first.
To the great Stuart Siegel.
Yeah, you know, you got good seats. You're sitting next to the guy they named the arena after. So Antoine with the second. And knocks it down. So Brian Antoine putting Radford up by 3. We're just 35 seconds here into this second half of play. VCU and Radford, another turnover, and it's Antoine again getting downhill, but was fouled before he could get to the hoop.
And as we see, we talked about this earlier in the first half. Radford is contesting every aspect of VCU's offense. So for VCU, they have to make sure they meet the passes. You can't wait on the pass. When you're doing a handoff, it can't be lackadaisical. Everything has to have a purpose and done with a purpose.
Yeah, they're really giving the Rams a little bit of their own medicine here tonight, and have been really tough defensively. And here's a 3 from Giles, and that's going to be off. And actually, this is one of the things that Darius Nichols was not happy about with his team against VMI. He thought the defense was poor, the man-to-man defense tonight. Very good. Here comes Giles off the steal, and he puts it up high off the window as Johns was chasing it but couldn't get the block. So largest lead for the Highlanders of 5.
And that's 3 turnovers coming out the second half. Make that 4.
Make that 4 as the moving screen gets called, and Zeb Jackson about to check in for VCU, and he's going to replace Jaden Nunn.
This is where VCU has to calm themselves down, bite down, and withstand this run by Radford.
That is 3 team fouls to start this second half for the Rams as well. We're not even a full 2 minutes into the second half. Attacking with the runner, and they're going to get the charge on Brian Antoine. So he tried to go with a teardrop, but really good defense by the Rams to get the charge.
And VCU has started this half off a half a step slow. And Ace Baldwin did a really good job of being in the right place and being willing enough to give his body up for his team.
With the 2 bad wrists. Just don't fall on your wrists anymore.
Right.
So Baldwin with Giles on him. Freshman has really been aggressive here tonight. The wall into the game now for VCU now with a blow by. Baldwin slips, they're calling for travel. So Ace travels, turns it over, and just a sloppy start for the Rams out of the locker room.
Absolutely, and VCU, again, they have to start their own engine, get something going on the defensive end to get their offense going.
So there's a travel coming the other direction as Josiah Jeffers got a little too fast and just kind of slid with the stop.
In the words of Jill Scott, let's take a long walk after dark at the park. Jeez.
Couple in a row, right? I got your travel, I'll raise you one. Jackson feeding the post to Johns. Johns going inside, and he is going to get fouled before the shot.
I tell you what, I think he might have had the advantage on the first spin.
Yeah, and got Archer on the foul. Archer now has 3 fouls, so that's significant. He's been very impactful on the boards with 6 and 6 tonight for Radford. So under their own basket, Ace Baldwin inbounding. Getting into Toby Lawal. Hands it back over to Ace. Johns puts it on the floor, loses it. This is poked away by Radford once again. Looks like Jeffers got his hand in there.
This is just not the start that Mike Rose wants for his team.
Smith attacking, and 1. As Daquan Smith, the redshirt junior from Holly Springs, Mississippi, and Murray State transfer, got an opportunity for a 3-point play. It's going to get us to a timeout on the floor. VCU is going to call a timeout. So 17:34 left in this first half. And we're going to take a timeout as well. This is VCU basketball on Rams Unlimited. Welcome back to VCU inside the Siegel Center. Radford 34-27 right now, as they're on a 6-0 run over the last minute 56. VCU has gone 2 minutes and 6 seconds without scoring, and it has been a really strong start for the visitors from Radford, Virginia, Ed, coming out of the locker room.
Exactly. Radford has ramped it up on the defensive end, and they're really taking away all looks for VCU, and VCU starts to force, and when they force, they turn the ball over, and Radford gets out to the races.
So Radford, Daquan Smith will go to the line trying to complete the three-point play. He is a 75% free throw shooter. Was on the Murray State team that went 31-3 and knocks it down. Played 4 seasons at Murray State before coming to Radford. They've done well in the transfer portal. 35-27, Radford on top.
And Radford's doing a really good job of taking the reversal pass away.
Johns kicks it out to Baldwin. Thought about the three. Now he attacks a little pocket pass to Johns, who can't finish, but he gets fouled. Johns gets fouled by Jules. Shaq Jules gets him. So Johns will go to the line shooting 2. That's Jules' first foul.
And if Johns would have been just a little bit more patient, he had the initial layup when he passed it out to Ace Baldwin. But that's how the universe works. Ace Baldwin on the drive, dumps it down to him again.
Yeah, that was a nice little bounce pass in some tight quarters from Ace. As we look at the upcoming Masson schedule, be back at it here on Saturday afternoon with VCU hosting Northern Illinois. Then Navy comes to town. Then women's basketball with Howard. And the men back at it with LaSalle in conference action, and St. Louis for the women's team in A-10 action as well. So Johns gets both and cuts it to a 6-point game.
And that was needed. VCU need to see the ball go in the basket. Hopefully that sparks something on the offensive end for them.
And it's 14 fouls on Radford as well, so that evens up the team fouls for the half. Both teams with 4 in the second half. Smith attacking, and he's going to get called for a charge as Josh Banks does a great job setting him up.
Absolutely.
Josh Banks giving the thumbs up to the bench as they're encouraging him.
Josh Banks he didn't get a lot of playing time. However, he is still a junior on this team. He is a veteran. He's been in big games before, and every single game it seems like he makes these types of plays when VCU needs him the most. Yeah,
that's a third foul on Smith, too. Daquan Smith, who averages 11.5 points a game, so that's significant, as now Ibu Yamazaki checks in. And Smith just got, I don't know if they would have called it if he didn't extend his off a hand, which he did, or his elbow. Watkins for 3, and that's good. That was going to bring rain with the arc on that thing. Knocks it down. Big bucket for VCU. They needed it. Cuts it to a 3-point game. The trap for the Rams almost causes a turnover.
I thought that was a travel, and so did Mike Rhodes.
Yeah, and it was also close to a violation. Just got it over in time with about a second to spare. Giles now penetrating. Tough shot, and that's not going to go. Rebounded by Watkins. So Jameer Watkins cleaning the glass tonight.
Absolutely.
8 boards. And it's going to stay with VCU. 23 on the shot clock. They'll inbound it into their own basket. Ace Ball will inbound it. Gets it into Johns. Johns going to work in the post. Kicks it back to Ace. Watkins with Giles all over him. Giles is tough, isn't he?
He's tough, and he has very quick hands. You got to protect that thing.
Got a tight one here. Stick around. It's going to be a good one tonight. 15:52 to go. This is VCU basketball on Rams Unlimited. Welcome back inside Siegel Center. Scott Jackson, Ed Nixon with you. Radford on top of VCU, 35-32. Outscoring the Rams just by a point, though, this half. And after getting off to that quick start, the 6-1 start of this half, VCU, obviously since the last time out, has settled in offensively. and played themselves back into this game.
Absolutely. I think after halftime, it took them a while to get readjusted to Radford's pressure defensively.
This game's at 6 ties. Just one lead change. And the Rams inbounding with just 10 on the clock now. They're going to be aware of it as Ace Baldwin with 5 on the clock gets it to Josh Banks. Banks going to have to make something happen. Pulls up with a tough 2, and that's going to be off the back iron. Rebounded by the Highlanders. Did a good job defensively coming out of that TO.
In VC, if you look at the lead, the direct cause of it is points off turnovers. Radford has did a good job of turning these VCU turnovers into points.
And knocking down big shots like that one from the corner from Yamazaki, who hits a 3. Back to a 6-point lead. Yamazaki plays about 12.5 minutes a game and averages just 3 points, and now he's got 3, and now he's got a takeaway. Headed the other way. Little Euro step off the window for 2.
Again, turning turnovers into points.
It's like on cue you said that, and it happened. So the largest lead for the Highlanders of 8. Really getting into it defensively. Darius Nichols got to really be happy with his team's effort so far. Johns kicking it out to Baldwin. Baldwin attacks, and they're going to get a blocking foul on Jeffers. Josiah Jeffers trying to draw the charge, but instead gets called for the block.
And that's what VCU has to continue to do. Move the ball on the perimeter, and when you have the opportunity, attack the paint. Everybody else space out, be ready to catch and shoot.
It's foul number 3 on Jeffers, so he heads to the bench. Jaded Nunn checks in for VCU with David Shriver. Zeb Jackson's going to sit down. They've got Baldwin and Nunn out there, along with Watkins, Johns, and Shriver. Reset Radford here in a moment. Tough inbound play. Somehow Shriver's able to save it. Gets it into Johns. Goes through 2 players for the 2.
He is just so patient on the block. He makes a move, allows the defense to react, and then hits him with a counter.
Izakuda with Baldwin all over him. Out there with Yamazaki. Also Antoine Niang. And there's a turnover. And another way with a flush, Jameer Watkins. And this place is waking up here as VCU has cut it to 4.
Absolutely. They're getting their feet wet. And if they can somehow take the lead or make it close, this place is going to go crazy. And that's a walk.
There's a travel, a walk on Caressi. Here, let's get another look at the Watkins. What a great play. Picks his pocket and takes it coast to coast from the flush. He has been very active tonight. Watkins, 9 rebounds to go along with his 6 points. Played 23 minutes so far as well.
And Justin Archer checks back into the game
with the 3 fouls, so certainly keep our eyes on that. He's been a hustle player tonight and a big rebounder for Radford. Coach Nichols apparently doesn't want to risk it. See if VCU can exploit that. They move the ball. Here comes Watkins, almost loses it. He puts it on the floor, and he does lose it. Excellent hands again from the Highlanders. Been at it all night. That was Antoine. Got on the floor. Giles with Watkins on him. It's an interesting matchup in terms of size.
And VCU did a really good job of fixing that and not allowing Radford to score off those points, off that turnover.
Izakuda puts up the 3, and that's going to be short. Izakuda a little short with that one, and another rebound for Watkins. Ace Baldwin trying to make a tough pass, and he does to Johns.
Wow.
How did he see that with a man, literally the jersey in his eyeballs, able to get that around to Johns for 2 to cut it to a 2-point game. VCU on a 6-0 run, and that's going to get a timeout from Darius Nichols in Radford as they want to stop the action here with 12:55 to go as VCU suddenly on a run and finding a rhythm here in a scoring drought of 2 minutes and 9 seconds for Radford now. He is a playmaker, isn't he?
Absolutely. To the highest level.
No doubt. You know, talking to Mike Rose today at the VCU shoot-around, some of the things he was really talking about, obviously, limiting turnovers, which, you know, he's probably not pleased with the 14, I believe, is at this point from VCU, but excuse me, 16 at this point. But also he's talking about better defensive awareness, and it looks like that has improved as this game's gone along. We'll see if they can keep up that effort. So out of the timeout. Tough move off the window, but that's not going to go from Smith, and VCU Shriver is able to run it down with a chance to tie or take the lead for the Rams. Ace Baldwin off his foot somehow. Wow, big collision there. No call. Coming the other way off the window for two is Josiah Jeffers. Again, just the hustle plays that have been the signature of the Highlanders tonight.
Through the roof. Now, I thought they were going to call a foul because Ace Baldwin seemed to have his hands on the ball. His legs were taken from under him.
Yeah, that was interesting. They really let that be a 50-50 play. None, as you said earlier, they're letting him play, gets fouled on the way up. So again, an Atlantic 10 crew here tonight with Clarence Armstrong, Earl Walton, and Vladimir Voyard Tadal. And that is one of those kind of gray area plays where is it a foul? You know, was he playing the ball? Was it incidental? And they obviously chose to say incidental and play on. But that's kind of how Radford's been tonight. They've been all over the floor, literally getting floor burns. And for Jeffers, by the way, that's his foul. So that's 4 on Jeffers now, and he's going to have to sit down.
And I'm not sure what's going on with Jaden Nunn at the free throw line. He is too good of a shooter.
Right.
To shoot under 75%, let alone 70 from the free throw line.
Yeah, just 2 for 5 tonight. And does connect on the second one. So 3 for 6 for Nunn tonight from the line. That makes it a 3-point game. 42-39, 12:15 to go here in regulation. Nunn on Easy Akuda. Comes a screen from Archer. Now they don't go to it, instead they get it back to Archer. Smith thought about the long three. Got Kern on him. Smith attacking with Kern on him, and now kicks it back out. Giles with a deep three. Whoa!
That's a big
shot. Down. The freshman is cold-blooded, isn't he? He's 44% beyond the arc on the season. Knocks his first down of the night. VCU answers.
Great swing through by Nick Kern. Baseline drive. D-Wade-like dunk.
That was pretty from Nick Kern. Zakuta trying to get into Archer. Gets his shot blocked, but gets it back. Got 10 on the clock. Giles now with Nick Kern on him. Attacking fade away. It's going to be off the back iron. Rebounded by Zeb Jackson. Jackson feeding it into DeLoach, but no, taken away by Giles. He is everywhere.
Those small guys get you trouble.
It goes into Shriver. Off the window. Can't finish, though. Kern. The
Pick
spin
it
dribble.
up.
Oh, he'll turn it over. No, he dives to the floor.
Effort.
What great effort. So VCU now getting some floor burns. Fans love it here at Siegel Center.
And when you're rumbling and tumbling down the floor, you don't want to continue to try to make a play. Just pick the ball up.
Zeb Jackson attacking off the window. Can't finish. DeLoach can't get the putback, but he gets another opportunity and he gets fouled. So Jalen DeLoach with a couple offensive boards there will get to the free throw line. And that's going to get us to a timeout. VCU shooting 2 on the other side, trailing Radford 45-41. This is VCU basketball, Rams Unlimited. Welcome back inside Siegel Center as we look at the VCU huddle as they trail 45-41. Scott Jackson and Ed Nixon here with you. And Ed, looking at these numbers, 18 VCU turnovers have led to 20 Radford points. They have 12 steals on the night to the Highlanders, and it's just been a lot of hustle from them on the defensive end. And I know that was something that Darius Nichols was not happy with the defense against VMI, but tonight he's got to be really pleased with the effort so far, almost 30 minutes into this game.
Absolutely. On one hand, you want to say great job by Radford. On the other hand, it's like VCU, you have to take care of the ball and appreciate the ball a lot more than what you have been.
VCU shooting much better this half, 55.6% from the floor. But Radford outscoring them to this point, 17-15. But Jalen DeLoach to the line to shoot 2. DeLoach, first trip to the line on the night. And he knocks it down.
Nothing but nylon.
DeLoach 11-6. The team's win over Howard Mike Rhodes said he thought he had one of the strongest off seasons of any player in the program.
Absolutely. He would wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, get a 7:30 workout in with Toby Lual, and come back and get some more work later in the day. He really got after it this offseason.
Well, 1 and 2. Interesting stuff about DeLoach. He grew 7 inches from his freshman and sophomore years in high school. Great. We're going to get the foul on Giles. So VCU getting after it defensively. And we're talking during the break as well. It seemed like if we were keeping floor burn stats, Radford was way ahead, but suddenly VCU started to catch up there with this last couple possessions with Nick Kern, and now obviously 2 players hitting the deck a moment ago.
And another stat to look at is VCU's already in the bonus.
That's
One
huge.
more foul and they're in the double bonus.
That's huge, and we talked about how they're 6th in the country, and Zeb Jackson knocks down the first. He transferred from Michigan, 73% of the season. He's got a 44-inch vertical. What was Ed Nixon's vertical when he was at VCU?
I had a 42.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Says the guy who had a 22. 1-point game, Radford 45-44. So 44, you're like, yeah, whatever. I mean, you know, like, if I had really tried and efforted, I could have gotten that, right? All right, Giles, he's been really good, the freshman, tonight, holding his own against Ace Baldwin.
Yes, he has.
You got to respect the way he has played. Really tough player, only 5'11", from Chesapeake, Virginia.
That's usually how it goes. The shorter they are, the tougher they are when it comes to the basketball game.
Izakuta dribbles it off his foot. Wow. So turnover, Highlanders, 10:01 to go here in regulation. VCU with a chance to take the lead. Yeah, we just had 1 lead change here tonight. DeLoach up off the window for 2. VCU back out on top.
And that was jet lag.
Their first lead since 3:03 left in the first half. Izakuta hesitated. Now Antoine pulls up for a 2. Baseline, that's going to be short. Rebounded by DeLoach.
And that was jet lag defense the last possession by Radford. They were too caught up in having the turnover, and they didn't get back in guard.
Jet lag defense, you got to patent that. That's good. I like that. All right, Johns. Baldwin for 3. He's got it. Ace comes up with a big shot. VCU up by 4.
And just to touch on that, basketball is such a fast game. You're going to make mistakes. You have to be able to turn the page and have a short-term memory.
So Giles now trying to do that for Radford. He's Yakuta now, and he's going to call timeout with 8:55 to go here in regulation. Fans on their feet here at Siegel Center letting the team know it as they are now on a 10-0 run over the last 2:44. Let's get another look.
And look at this patience by Brandon Johns.
That's a great play by the big fella to hit Ace. That left-handed 3. That is his first 3 of the night. He's got 7. Ace in the season came into the night shooting 50% from 3. Obviously, he hasn't played as many games, but you know he's played 5, but 9 of 18 coming in the night, and 1 of 2 tonight. So he's keeping it at 50%, 10 of 20 in the year. That's a pretty good start, needless to say.
Correct. And again, these guys are gym rats. They stay in the gym. Ace Baldwin is one of the leaders. He comes in, gets his work in, leaves, and comes back. That's one of the biggest jumps in his game has been his 3-point ability.
Well, I thought last year when he was out with the Achilles, I was talking to Mike Rhodes about it for a while, all he could do was sit in a chair and shoot, and he really has improved his shooting from where he was his freshman year to now. You know, he just adds like brick by brick each year. All right, we'll see what Radford has out of this timeout as Darius Nichols wanted to talk it over. Team down by 4, trying to stop this 10-0 VCU run.
And the crowd has got into it.
They really have. Smith steps into a big 3, and that's going to be an air ball, but rebound, it doesn't matter. Shot clock violation as it touched nothing. Jeffers was there, but a shot clock violation. That's the type of thing that drives coaches crazy out of a timeout. See that happen.
Now, Radford, just like VCU did, they have to be willing to settle themselves down. You're in a hostile environment. You have to settle yourself down, get a stop, and run some good offense and get another great look.
0 for their last 5 for the Highlanders. Scoring drought now 3 minutes and 14 seconds. They got 2 players, by the way, out there, 2 Jeffers and Smith playing with 4 fouls. And as we mentioned, VCU's the next foul that Radford commits will put them in the double bonus for the rest of the night. So Ace Baldwin brings it up with the freshman Giles on him, Kenyon Giles. Ace passes it under, reverse layup for 2 for Johns as VCU extends the lead to 6.
Another great find by Ace Baldwin.
And a foul coming the other way on VCU. Mike Rhodes is beside himself, yelling, why? And Jaden Nunn.
Sometimes you have, what Rhodes was just symboling is sometimes when you get beat, you don't want to sit there and try to play defense and slide your feet. You want to turn those hips, beat your man to the spot by running.
Just
catch up.
Beautiful no-look by Baldwin and even a better finish from Johnson, reverse layup. So Radford after the foul on Nunn. Smith picks up his dribble. He's got to get it over to Jeffers. Jeffers now attacking, almost loses it. He's got to throw it away, and he does. Baldwin pushing it too far ahead to DeLoach, who goes into the crowd. And we talk about things that keep coaches up at night earlier. I would say those would be one of the things when you've got a 6-point lead.
Absolutely. You had an opportunity to add to it. Unfortunately, led him a little bit too much.
VCU, though, on a 12-0 run and off to a 6-point lead. We'll take a timeout. VCU basketball, Rams Unlimited. Back inside Siegel Center, coming down the home stretch here. VCU with a 6-point lead with 7:52 to go here in regulation. They are on a 12-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Scott Jackson and Ed Nixon here with you. Rams have also hit 7 of their last 9 field goals, Ed, while Radford's gone 0 for their last 5 and are in a 4-minute scoring drought.
And if we look at the production in the paint for VCU, you can tell that they're putting their head down, attacking. And the off guards and bigs are doing a great job of cutting to the basket as well, as we saw with Ace Baldwin finding Brandon Johns cutting baseline for an easy 2.
Daquan Smith gets it in to Josiah Jeffers with Jaden Nunn on him for that full court defense. Brian Antoine is out there as well with Smith, Jeffers, and Giles. And Archer for Radford. Oh, throw away by Giles. Big mistake there. A lot of coverage. Coming the other way, Watkins gets his shot blocked by Archer. Wow, what a hustle play by Archer. Stays with VCU.
And again, I like the aggression. However, you didn't have the numbers. Pull it back out. You have the lead. Take your time. Get a great shot instead of a good attempt.
You look back at that Howard game, there were times where it looked like they were going to run away, and they similar kind of issues, maybe forcing the issue on offense. See if they can clean it up here down the stretch and close this one out. There's a foul over the back on Antoine, and that's going to be his 4th. So the Highlanders have 4 players now with 4 fouls, Smith, Jeffers, and now Antoine.
And that's just not a smart foul.
Now it's the bonus, double bonus too.
Double bonus. You put yourself in extreme foul trouble, and you didn't even let him put the ball down to defend. It's just not a smart foul for Radford.
And Johns knocks it down. Of course, he is Brandon Johns, an 83% free throw shooter. He is quietly racking up the points after a slow first half. Johns is up to 13.
You know what doesn't get talked about enough?
Knocks down the second.
Brandon Johns' forearm tattoo of the screen face.
I noticed that today at shoot around, and I was a little frightened, to be honest with you. You kind of pulled it out. I was like, wow. It does needs maybe its own Instagram account or something. All right, 8-point lead for VCU, their largest. Giles pushes off a little bit from Ace Baldwin. And attacking Smith, a rainbow 3, barely touches iron, and that's going to be a turnover of sorts. Now VCU, a chance to get into double digits here in the next possession.
And Radford is really feeling the pressure of VCU's defense. They were running their offense near half court right there and forced up a deep 3, almost touched the scoreboard up top.
And now they turn it over. Come the other way, Antoine, he's going to flush it. Big steal. We've seen him do that a few times tonight. Brian Antoine, the former Villanova Wildcat. McDonald's All-American. Showing off there, cuts it to a 6-point game. So VCU a moment ago said they could get it to double digits. Instead, it's to 6. But DeLoach answers.
Another beautiful find by Ace.
But Ace with the dime. Ace has got 4 assists now. And DeLoach has got 13 to go along with the 6 rebounds. Jaden Nunn being a pest there, but he's going to be called for a reach-in on Jeffers. So for Nunn, that's going to be just his second. And that's going to be team foul 6, though, on VCU with 6:21 to go here in regulation.
And I don't agree. However, I think that was a foul.
Right.
But I don't agree with the consistency of the game they've been letting them play. That was a ticky-tack compared to other contacts throughout the game.
I would agree, because I think we've been kind of crediting these guys for letting them play. And then, boom, Smith from the corner.
And let me tell you something. Jameer Watkins gave up that 3. And this is what he did. You never help out strong side. You have to trust your teammates to be in the right place at the right time.
Baldwin gets the contact and one! Wow! The English on that reverse layup. Incredible. Ace Baldwin.
Not Dutch, not Swedish, not Spanish, but English.
A lot of it, too. Let's see it again. Here it is. Ace penetrating, gets hit on the wrist there, goes up and under. Wow. Beautiful play. That's what he does for you. It's like Mike Rhodes was in a good mood today. Knew his guy was going to be back tonight.
That might be
That could
Sports
be.
Center top 10.
That should be in the top 10. I agree with you. That's a 3-point play for Ace, who's now in double digits on the night with 10 points. And so it is back to an 8-point VCU lead. 6:02 to go. Smith, who hit the 3 in the last possession, is now up to 11 on the night for the Highlanders. He's their leading scorer. Got to keep an eye on him. Now Smith attacking. High arcing shot misses. Zeb Jackson gets tripped, and there's going to be a foul. He's going to get to the free throw line.
Catch his breath, walk to the free throw line, and shoot 2.
He's smiling at least. That was a face plant almost. Luckily didn't catch his face. Getting after it.
And DeQuan Smith right now is really trying to force the issue. The last few shots he's been able to take have been contested, fadeaway, high arcing, tough shots.
Yeah.
And he has to trust Radford offense and just let the game come to him. He's forcing it a little bit too much right now.
Zeb Jackson knocks it down. The transfer from Michigan. His 3rd point of the game. VCU suddenly racking up free throws. Earlier we were saying how, again, they 6th in the country in 27 attempts a night. They're on pace to reach that now with their 24th attempt there as Jackson knocks them both down. Largest lead for the Rams of 10. With 5:43 to go here in regulation. And the full court pressure.
And I will say this, Jaden Nunn has been doing a really good job of pressuring the ball in the backcourt.
Easy Akuda running the point now. Nunn putting the pressure on him. Gets it over to Antoine. Antoine runs into some trouble, and they're going to get for travel. So he just dribbled right into the double team. Over-dribbled into DeLoach and Johns.
VCU's defense has Radford flustered right now.
You talked about that wear-down effect earlier. Now, it wasn't really effective early in the game, but the pressure, it just sometimes is mentally, in addition to physically, breaks you down as the game wears on.
Absolutely. Like I said, if you're not used to playing this way.
And look at Giles, man. He's a pest, isn't he? In there, causing all kinds of problems.
Yes, he has very quick hands.
Oh, nice no-look. Ace to DeLoach, who finishes and one. Ace Baldwin again.
And I've talked about this plenty of times before, but Ace Baldwin has the ability to just take over games with his passing. Look at this pass. No look, drop pass to DeLoach. Put in a spot where only he could catch it and one.
Yeah, he's so good running that half-court offense. And, again, such an unselfish player. Obviously, for the big guys, be ready. You don't know when it's going to come or what angle it's going to come out of. DeLoach doing a good job there. Can't finish the 3-point play, though. He's got 15, and it's a 12-point VCU lead. Their largest. 5 minutes to go here in regulation. Jeffers gets his head down and goes downhill and gets fouled. Josiah Jeffers, he had a purpose going after that one. He's the conference leader in assists and assist in the turnover ratio as well. Tonight, though, he has 0 assists and 3 turnovers.
Ooh. Again, not to harp on it, but VCU's pressure is just different. If you're not used to practicing that, going over and over, it's going to be hard to adjust to it for just one game.
And he misses the first free throw. Of course, Radford had the Big South. They were picked 6th in the preseason polls. Well, they've certainly played better than that to this point, and got a lot of talent on this team. You've got to love the effort they've put out here tonight on the road. Jeffers with his second free throw, and he knocks it down.
There's still a lot of time left in this game.
No doubt, and VCU's had some problems closing, you know, in some spurts. So 11-point game. 4:45 here in regulation. It's Baldwin, Nunn, Johns, DeLoach, and Jackson for VCU. They're getting zoned up right now. Johns turns around. Will spin move in the lane. Can't get it to go, but DeLoach rebounds it. And he's going to kick it out to Ace. Oh, it's just a little too fancy as he throws it away.
And that's 6 turnovers on Ace Baldwin, and that's very uncharacteristic for him.
They're not a big turnover guy at all, but tonight he has 6 turnovers now for Ace. 5 assists, 31 minutes. Of course, was out with that wrist injury against Howard back. Jeffers tries to hand it off and does get it into the post, and wow, missed by Jules. Did a good job to get the shot off, but couldn't finish. Now, Mike Rhodes is telling him to slow it down. Work the clock a little bit. 4 minutes left now in regulation for VCU on top by 11. Nunn attacking, and he's going to get called for an offensive foul. These are things you don't want to do with an 11-point lead. 3:54 to go. Can VCU hang on? Stick with us. This is VCU basketball on Rams Unlimited. 3:54 to go here in regulation at Siegel Center. VCU with a 11-point lead. Scott Jackson, Ed Nixon here with you as the Rams have shot 64% in the second half, almost 65%, 64.7 to be exact. And it's really helped them overcome 22 turnovers, Ed, on the night. I mean, that's one of the things, again, Mike Rhodes was talking about today after shoot-around was we want to see them limit those turnovers. And the Radford Highlanders have gotten 22 points off the 22 turnovers. Could have been much worse, obviously, whereas VCU's got 20 points off the 17 turnovers from Radford.
And if you were to hear that first part, 22 turnovers, Radford has 22 points off their turnovers, you would swear that VCU would be down by double digits.
No doubt. And it's the shoes on the other foot. Inside to Jules. And he gets it to go with the left hand over DeLoach. So it's a 9-point game, 3:30 to go. Here in regulation as Ace Baldwin brings it up with Giles in front of him. DeLoach, a little screen.
Now this is a mini game that VCU practices throughout their practice, just to work on things not to do, things to do to win games, and that is one you don't do.
Antoine on the floor gets away with it, gets it up to Jeffers, who's attacking, and he drops it off to Archer, who gets tied up for a jump ball. It's going to stay with Radford though, with 3:01 to go.
Great effort by Brandon Johns to get back into the play. That looked for sure like it was going to be a bucket for Radford.
No doubt. After Brian Antoine, you know, again, we're talking about floor burns. There's a lot of Radford players going to be going home back on the bus tonight with those. They're really getting after it. Antoine gets it to Giles with Ace Baldwin on him. Giles trying to pass it away, gets fouled by Watkins across the arm. And that is going to be a 1-and-1 coming up for Radford. And Giles, who the team's leading scorer, 12 points a game, but tonight just 7 on 3 of 12 shooting. But defensively, he's certainly been a problem.
He's definitely made an impact defensively. Even if, I think he has, how many steals does Giles have?
So Giles now to the line where he's 88% of the year. And the freshman knocks it down. And keep in mind, here's a player, who, again, a freshman, who had 21 against VMI in their last game, but had 20 against Notre Dame, like in his, I believe it was his first or second game of his career. I mean, pretty impressive stuff. Yeah, it was the third game of his career, excuse me. Third game of his career.
He's a tough kid.
Yeah, Big South Freshman of the Week multiple times already.
And he only has 3 steals on the night, but he has had so many more deflections.
He's caused the steal, I would say, more than that, right?
Play. Yeah.
He's been a disruptor, no doubt. And it leads down to 7 now with 2:50 to go here in regulation as VCU now dealing with the pressure. And Nunn gets it over with about 2 seconds to spare. Over to Baldwin. Back to Nunn. Watkins gets it back to Baldwin as he move it quickly. Ace dumps it into Johns. Johns turns around. He's looking to tackle, and Jules gets up the right hand, and good. Nice little baby hook in the lane.
Again, Brandon Johns is so patient when he gets the ball. Sometimes when you catch it in the middle of the paint, you feel like you have to rush. He takes his time, sets his man up for the spin back, and gets an easy 2-point floater.
And Johns has got 16 for the second straight game. Almost knocked away by VCU. Smith gets fouled by Watkins. They're going to say no?
Tipped out of bounds.
Touch out of bounds, sorry. Now Watkins is tying his shoe. So 2:08 to go. There'll be 13 left on the clock as Smith will inbound it for Radford. It's it into Jules. And Smith, a little collision there. It stays with Radford.
And here's what VCU wants to do if they want to secure this win. They want to play solid defense, contest all shots. Don't go for any gambles or get out of position. They want to make sure that they run their offense, get great shots, and also they got to finish up the play with it.
Jeffers with 2 on the clock. It's fouled shooting at 3. Was another thing you were going to add is don't foul a 3-point shooter?
I wasn't. I thought that went without saying.
Well, you needed to get that one out quicker. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Mike Rhodes is just doing a very good job keeping himself composed. That's got to be tough to see. But, again, 2 on the clock, and I don't think that ball was going anywhere near the hoop.
Nowhere near. And, I mean, he must lay down on the couch and talk to a therapist after every game.
So that was on Jaden Nunn, the foul, but a missed free throw. So Jeffers unable to take advantage of it. 67% of the season, too, is Jeffers. Highlanders trying to stay in this. Oh, Jeffers. And now you're talking about a coach that's going to want to talk to somebody. That's Darius Nichols, who's pacing and can't believe what he's seeing. Radford's 8th men's basketball coach, and again, a native of Radford. Really cool talking to him. His brothers in the staff, Shane Nichols, wants to make it a family atmosphere at Radford, and talked about a basketball family that they're trying to create there, and certainly off to a good start in year 2. 8-point ball game, 1:54 to go. As Jaden Nunn's bringing it up with Jeffers pressuring him. Johns spin move to the bucket, and he gets fouled. That might be on Archer. Let's see. Yeah, it is. That's going to be Archer's night ending.
And what a game. He played a very good game. He was very impactful in the first half.
No question.
VCU did a pretty good job the second half of keeping him off the offensive boards.
Yeah, the transfer from Florida Southwestern. No, they're saying, oh, excuse me, that's going to be only foul 4 on him. Okay, he's got 1 more to give. I thought he was at 4. That's Smith, Jeffers, and Antoine, and now Archer with 4 fouls. So Johns knocks down the first free throw. So he adds to his total tonight. He's leading all scorers now with 17. Giles is going to check in for Jules after a quick rest.
And 4-4-4-4 on the court right now for Radford.
Yeah, they need 3-point shooters at this point. They're shooting 40% from 3 tonight, 6 of 15. And they shoot 37 of the season. So big time by Johns to knock them both down. It's an 18-point night for him and a 10-point VCU lead with 1:42 to go.
You don't want to relax with your VCU, even though you have a 10-point lead.
So Nunn guarding Jeffers. Gets it over to Smith, who almost loses it. Hand over to Giles. VCU really making Radford eat up some clock here. Giles attacking, gets by Ace. The runner goes. 8-point ball game. 1:16 left. As Giles comes through. Almost a turnover. They're going to say last touch by Ace Baldwin is a turnover for VCU. And now they're saying,
and again,
reset the shot clock to 30.
To avoid all of that, you have to eat the ball. You can't wait for the ball to get to you. You have to go get the ball and meet the ball. Ace Baldwin made a mistake right there by waiting for the ball. And with 1 minute left, you know that Radford's going to be aggressive.
They're looking over on the replay. Ace Baldwin asked for them to go look at it because he said he did not touch it. We'll see what the verdict is after the referees get a better look at it. So let's look at it ourselves. Here's Jaden Nunn.
Honestly, I think it's out on Ace at the very end.
Yeah, it was literally right in front of us, and it looked like it was tipped first by Antoine, and then I thought it might have caught Ace. But
yeah, absolutely. That's what I think happened. I think he tipped it. However, as the ball was rolling.
Here's a better angle. Yeah, and it's going to stay with Radford, so no change in the call. So 8-point game, 1:07 to go. Not quite home yet for the Rams.
And that's turnover number 7 for Ace Baldwin.
Wow, and that is, what is that, 24? No, is that correct? Yeah, 24 as a team at this point. Yeah,
yes,
wow,
turnovers.
Unbelievable. And up by 8 with a minute to go. Antoine steps into a 3, and he's going to be off the back iron. Rebounded, DeLoach. And that should do it for VCU if they take care of the ball. Let me caveat that.
What makes you think that?
Baldwin, no. Gets it over somehow to DeLoach, who just throws it away. Turnover 25, yikes. Giles attacking. Tough fade away, knocks it down, 6-point game. Well, 30.6 to go, or 30.5 to go.
I am in awe. I'm speechless.
They don't want to make it easy on themselves, do they? Wow.
And for a team that applies pressure, you would think they would be able to handle pressure.
Correct. That's a really good way to look at it. And I don't know. So that's 20. Here's the turnover. 42 turnovers between the two teams is not pretty. But 25 for VCU. And again, with the lead with 30 seconds to go, but far from park the car yet. They're going to, if they get a chance to get to the free throw line, to put this one on ice. But wow, I mean, just the turnovers and the carelessness of the possessions over this last minute, astonishing.
I mean, what is DeLoach doing right there?
Did he not want to be fouled? I don't know. If he just holds on the ball right, he gets fouled.
I mean, take the foul. Don't throw it over your head. He literally threw it over his head.
Let's see it again. Here we go. So here, no, I guess he's just pulls it. He just holds it there, right? Could have just held it there, maybe. I don't know. Or did he feel like he could reach it?
Grab it and turn around and see where you're passing the ball.
Then tough shot from Giles, who's got 13 in his 31 minutes tonight. And again, this thing's not in the garage yet.
The stress. We all need to come together after the game and say a prayer for my Rose.
So this is the 10th meeting between these two schools. VCU leads the all-time series 6-3. You know, I can't attest for the other 9, but this has been quite memorable. Not always for positive things, but
we need to pray for his heart, his hairline.
He's handling it well. Maybe he's, breathing through his eyelids. Maybe, I don't know, but got to be tough. And here you go, 30.5 left, and suddenly the Highlanders have life again. As VCU needs to get this ball in bound, they do to Zeb Jackson. Jackson waiting for the contact, gets it back to Watkins, who takes it over cleanly. He gets fouled with 4.8 to go. Jameer Watkins will go to the free throw line, where he's 1 of 2 tonight.
Now VCU is basically 2 free throws and 1 stop away from getting this win.
So Watkins to the line.
I see VCU had a board up with their matchups. I've never seen that before. Good to see. Good idea.
And Watkins knocks it down. 7-point game, so it is a 3-possession game now. With that free throw from Watkins, so that was a big shot.
And win or loss, Radford came into the Siegel Center and put on a good performance.
No question. You got to really respect what Radford did here tonight. I'm sure they're not going to be satisfied with not winning, but they really came to play after a tough loss at VMI. I don't know, was eating at them. So Radford down by 8 now. Quick 3-shot blocked by Johns as Yamazaki is trying to put up the 3.
And the VCU fans loved that.
They love that. Unless you're the guy who caught the ball in your face in the front row back there. I don't know. Well, maybe caught. Hopefully didn't catch in the face. Seemed pretty excited to get the ball. All right, so inbounding from the left side will be Radford with 19.8 to go. Down by 8 and quickly subbing in. Shaq Jules will get back into the game for Radford.
And as
he's now got 6 players on the floor. I think they got to take somebody out. Somebody's coming out.
And Brandon Johns is being showered with happy birthday song.
Is today his actual birthday?
Today's his
nice.
actual birthday.
He's had a game, right? 18 points. Trying to get it in. They do. Giles gets it stripped away by Ace Baldwin. They're going to say last touch by Ace with 18 seconds to go. Stays with Radford. 8-point game. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Last time I did, it got way too interesting. But it does feel like the Rams are on the verge of their 7th win of the season. So Josiah Jeffers now back in as Radford continues to sub.
And how about this? VCU is shooting 43% from the three-point line and Radford 35%. When it was completely flipped at halftime.
Yeah, VCU just haven't had many attempts tonight, and that's going to be a foul off of the inbound play on VCU's Jaden Nunn. And that's going to be, I think, Nunn's 4th.
That's his 5th.
Or no, 5th. No, he's out. Wow.
And I will say this. At least 3 of them were bonehead fouls. Just relax.
Mike Rhodes is showing him the keep your hands up sign over, kind of going over with him. And he's telling the rest of the players, just don't foul at this point. So 17.7 to go.
His intentions were there.
Yeah.
But you just have to be smarter. Don't foul the three-point shooter fading away 35 feet from the basket.
Shaq Jules at the line where he's 70% of the season. They're doing a quick huddle with Darius Nichols, the other 4 Radford players.
And crazier things have happened.
No, I mean, you can't feel real comfortable. I mean, looking at the VCU bench, their coaches don't appear to be extremely comfortable right now. So Jules knocks it down, cut to 7.
And to be honest, one of the bigger things that hurts VCU right now is Jaden Nunn was the secondary ball handler for VCU.
Right. That's a good point. So Banks is in there now with Jackson and Ace, Baldwin, Johns, and Jameer Watkins. Jules knocks both free throws down, so a 6-point game with 18 seconds to go. Radford is out of timeouts.
And they put all guards in right now to really put the pressure on VCU.
So this inbound's huge right here. Can they get it inbounds? Watkins running the baseline, quickly gets it into Banks. Banks waiting for the contact, gets it ahead to Watkins, who pushes it ahead to Jackson and covers it up. I thought we were about to see, I guess that would have been, turnover 26 had he not chased it down. But woo. 11.6 to go. Zeb Jackson going to the free throw line.
My goodness.
Woo. Where he is 73% of the season and 4 for 4 tonight.
I mean, just calm down and let the game come to you. 26 turnovers, and at least half of these have to be unforced.
Jackson knocks it down, so I'd say that puts it on ice. 11.6 to go. As Zeb Jackson tonight.
Actually, exactly half have been unforced.
Doing good work at the free throw line. Knocks them both down. So all of his points have come to the line. As Radford gets it in. It's like one final possession as Jeffords pulls up for a three, and that's going to be off the back iron. Rebounded, fought for. Watkins is going to come away with it. And VCU is going to come away with a 8-point win, 70-62 here at Siegel Center over a very tough Radford team from the Big South.
Yes, Radford came to play. They played hard. They played physical. They showed fight. They showed heart. However, they weren't able to come out with the win.
No doubt. So VCU 70-62. We'll come back, put a wraps on this one as VCU picks up their 7th win of the season. This is VCU basketball on Rams Unlimited. Welcome back inside Siegel Center. Scott Jackson and Ed Nixon after a VCU 70-62 win over Radford. And, well, they had it the whole way, Ed. Well, kind of. It was a little rocky finish, but VCU gets it over the finish line tonight to pick up their 7th win of the season.
Absolutely. VCU was able to imply their will to Radford. Radford felt the pressure and started turning the ball over late in the second half. But Radford did the same thing to VCU. VCU finished with 26 turnovers. Jalen DeLoach led the way. Actually, Brandon Johns led the way for VCU, 18 points, 3 rebounds. Jalen DeLoach not too far behind with 15 points and 9 rebounds. DeQuan Smith, one of our players to watch, finished with 11 points, 3 rebounds. And Kenyon Giles, 13 points and 3 steals. But he impacted the game a lot of different ways. However, it just wasn't enough to top VCU.
Yeah, Radford had a lot of good fight here, no question about it. But VCU in that second half outscored Radford 44-34. 74% from the line tonight for VCU, 23-31 from the line. 18 points from the free throw line in the second half as well was a big part of this one tonight.